right, so now we're going to talk about the features, how the pack is made, what it's made of, and some of the specs and differences you're going to see in the different pack styles, colors, etc. So starting out, we're actually going to talk about the pack frame. Everything begins with that frame, as anyone that discussed backpacks with you is going to talk about. Now, they're not made for wearing, however, people have given it a go, and they're quite strong, honestly. So let's talk about that. The frame is constructed, the uprights are American red cedar. They're lightweight, so this frame is extremely light, but it's also extremely strong. And so the uprights are American red cedar. The cross members, as you can see here, they're actually bent oak. So the oak bends really well and it maintains strength after it's bent. So it's never going to move after this point. And the oak is just extremely strong. And then there's also a steel rod here. And that's actually based off the original design, is that steel rod helps to keep everything uniform when you have weight bearing down on the frame. And I can even demonstrate for you, well, why not do it, how strong these suckers are. This is the actual XL frame, and you can see that there's a difference here. The XL is about 6 inches taller, and it's about 2 inches wider. And so that's going to give you a larger pallet to work on, and I'm going to demonstrate that here in a minute. For the larger animals, larger capes, skulls, it just gives you more room to work with. And the XL, which is like what this elk is on here, the XL is truly unique only to us. That came out of placing an elk onto a regular sized antique pack that I found on eBay. It cost me a lot of money and it took a long time to find. They're really rare. So good luck if anyone's trying to find any of those. It's really cool if you can get your hands on one, but if you can't, or you want to pay less money, we're here to help you out for sure. But after placing the elk skull onto the normal or smaller size, or the original antique size, it just completely drowned the pack. And so that's where this XL came to fruition, was basically taking the same ratio and skewing it larger to give you a bigger pallet or canvas to work on. So you can see that the straps here are attached right here on the back. They're actually with iron tack nails. And so they're connected just like that. There's a cable here that I'll demonstrate in a minute. But just for kicks, I'm just going to show you how strong this frame really is. This is only 3/4 of an inch thick, and it's a 1/4 inch cut into that. So there's only a 1/4 inch of wood attached to the cedar. And really with some force, you should be able to like peel that off. But this steel rod keeps everything intact. Let me just show you. I'm only 180 pounds, but still you're not going to have anything 180 pounds hanging on your pack frame. So you can, this would just normally, you can see this is actually quite a bit out from the frame, from the uprights, and it just doesn't move. If I can keep my balance, it just isn't moving. So extremely strong. Okay, so let me demonstrate to you how these are hung up. A common question people get is, what do I have to do to hang this up? And the answer is simply a screw in the wall is all you're gonna need. Obviously hit a stud or use an anchor, a drywall anchor screw. But what we've done is we've actually added a cable. So I'm going to come to you and show you that this cable is attached to the frame on the uprights underneath this upper oak piece. And when you pull it up like this, you can see my finger and you can see the actual cable. And that's not the ideal way to use this system. What you do is where the straps come out of the canvas, you actually pull the cable through like this and come up, and now you can't see my finger, you can't see the cable. And with weight coming down, you still don't see it. So it's actually a really cool method. All you're gonna have to do is literally just put that screw in and place it on the wall. It's super easy. So that's covered for you. It's rated like 350 pounds was the tensile strength. Again, nothing's gonna be hanging onto your pack that's that heavy. So hanging is covered. The frame we've covered. Another thing that's cool about the frame is obviously you can see that there's an arc to it. The original frame was just bent about 1.5 inches from the canvas, and that was to give the wearer enough space so that the canvas was the only thing weighing down on your body. What we've done is we've increased that arc to about 4 inches, and the reason being is that way your animal, which is going to attach about here, it's going to actually be 4 inches, 3 or 4 inches out from the wall before the base of that skull, to then have the face and the antlers. So now you can actually have the antlers tilt backwards, lift that nose up, let the antlers come back, and it gives you that clearance. There's companies that charge $80 for metal that get your antlers to come 4 or 5 inches out from the wall. And we're doing the same thing but with also an incredible unique look for your home. So that's another benefit to the frame. Let's move on to the canvas. The canvas is an 18-ounce heavy duck canvas. It is authentic to the times then. It's really, again, it's a heavy canvas. We have 3 different colors. We've got brown, we've got tan, and we've actually got green. And so the original is kind of more of like a mossy, depends on how old it is, which is cool because age tells a story, right? And so some people don't like the kind of the greenish yellow look of the original antique. We wanted to keep things looking clean, so that way like it looks really good in your home and doesn't maybe look as old per se, but having the ability to choose 3 different colors is going to give you a lot of variety. And so we're going to get into that when it comes into choosing your pack. We're going to do that in another little video series. So moving on to some more features. Again, cotton webbing here. These are adjustable straps. They're attached out to the front, and the reason for that is when you have it on the wall, you can now see the straps, whereas the original, it actually attaches here, and you would otherwise just never ever see a strap. So we wanted to try to help add that spice that tells you like this really does have like some authenticity from head to toe. And so that's how we attached them out, was to the front. All the grommets are actually aged and patinaed looking. So if you can see those there, we actually hand press these, you know, just to my right is our table where we press all the grommets and use a mallet and everything. And these have all been chemically aged with a nickel ager to add that age to them. These eye bolts here, these are attachment points. So not only for the straps, but these here, here, and here, these are places that you can anchor your animal to. So as you look up here, you can see that we have rope wrapped around the uprights. We have something, you know, the jute rope anchored here and here on the bottom. These sheds are a great example of anchoring right here on the side. And so it gives you these points that you can really do anything you'd want with the pack, and you're going to be able to anchor them on. So between an authentic frame, authentic canvas, the aged components completely, I mean, even these are aged. These used to be bright nickel. These are antiqued brass, lobster clasps, pretty authentic to the time as well. The last thing I'll tell you is that this is cotton rope. The cotton lacing is all they would have had back then, and you can't singe the ends. So to prevent fraying, we actually dip the ends in wax. They would have used pine tar, so it's pretty similar. We just didn't want to go out and fetch pine tar to boil down for you guys, but if you really wanted to do that yourself, you could, I guess. And we've stained the rope in coffee, so that was to add a little more grunge to it. A question that's sometimes asked is, how come you haven't like ripped up or grunged up or distressed the actual canvas? The answer is simple. You can totally do that if you'd like to. It's just not necessarily everyone's taste. We feel like looking at this alone, we've taken, I mean, I can show you, this pack has a few markings on it. We've taken the packs, this one has a few more as well. And I'll just show you, like, this piece of wood is a perfect example. We've already stained the actual cedar and the oak. We've distressed it. We've scrubbed it with a steel brush to bring out the soft, to remove the soft growth rings and to keep the hard growth rings there. So it has some ripples in it. This thing looks like it has been outside for a long time. Wood just doesn't age like that on its own. So we've actually scrubbed this with heavy wire brushes to get the pulp to be removed. And between, you know, and then distress marks. So you can see all the different dents and things we've put into these. And we've done that to try to add that age. The only thing we haven't specifically aged is the actual canvas. And we didn't want to do that just because it's not necessarily everyone's taste. Not everyone goes to the store and buys tattered up jeans, but you can do that yourself. And so we liked that it looked really clean without it, but it still has a rustic overall appeal. So more than welcome to distress the canvas if you'd like to yourself. I think that about covers kind of the features of, you know, what you're getting when you get to these packs, when you get into them. As you can see on this wall, there are so many things that you can do, whether it's an old skull cap bringing back to life, whether it's wanting to display sheds. So many people put sheds on the ground, tines down in a pile. They make a Christmas tree in the winter, or when friends come over, they, you know, hey, look at these sheds. But basically, we feel like it's a really unique way to display sheds. And in our next quick video, we're going to talk about how to choose between the XL and the regular, as well as colors to help make the best choice you can. So thanks a lot, guys.